Welcome into another edition of Night of the Shield right here on the Las Vegas Raiders News Review. I'm Jason Smith, aka The Knight. And if this is your first time here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and that like button so we can get things kicked off. Once again, Night of the Shield is brought to you by Independently Blind Studios, where I educate, advocate, motivate, and inspire other people who are dealing with sight loss to be the best that they could be. All right, guys, we got a fun one tonight. I want to get heavy on this defense. I kind of want to talk in general about the whole team, what we're going to be looking at this Sunday against the Denver Broncos. But before we get into all of that, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Raider John for coming on last night. We definitely had some technical difficulties. I know John had left a message in the chat apologizing. John, no need to apologize. I think it might be on my end. I'll have to check a few things, but we'll definitely troubleshoot that so that doesn't happen next time. But for all of you who stuck it out, still gave the thumbs up, still watched the show last night, we appreciate you. That echo, it was crazy because I could not hear it on my side whatsoever. He couldn't hear it on his side at all either. It was only you guys that were hearing the echo. I didn't hear it till I played it back, and I was like, wow. So I do apologize for the echo. We will ratify that moving forward. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into our topic for the night. I want to give a big shout out to Nick209. What's up, Knight? Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you here, Nick. Welcome. All right, so the defense means a lot to me, and we haven't had a real defense since 2003, 2004, around that time frame, right after the Super Bowl. We still had some of those players that carried over, and that wasn't even one of our all-time greatest defenses. By the way, it was good, but it wasn't like super great. And a lot of great players: Eric Allen, Charles Woodson, Greg Biekert. We had a lot of memorable players on that football team. Rod Woodson was a part of that. A lot of old-time vets came in and pulled that all together. It was pretty nice. But I've been waiting for a real defense to brag about for a long time, and I'm going to be honest. I'm not 100% sure that that's what we have this year. That's not what I'm looking for this year. My expectations are not for this team to have one of the best defenses in the league. And again, you know, I'm not saying that they can't either. I mean, the talent is there, but we got a lot of draft picks, and a lot of those draft picks have have made this roster. We have two individuals that are going to be making their debut, and it looks like they're going to get some starting time or some primary play time, which is Tyree Wilson, which should be expected where he was drafted, even though they had a different plan for him. Looks like he's going to get a lot of work. So he has an opportunity here to make a name for himself early on in his career. And then we got Jacorian Bennett, who looks like he's going to get the nod on the outside. Brandon Faison's on the inactive list this week, so Faison's going to get a lot of reps. He's going to get a lot of opportunity to make some plays against Russell Wilson. And then we have some other promising rookies that are going to be rotated into the game. We've got Young and Silva on the defensive tackle side of things that hopefully late in the game they can make an appearance and have a fresh push, young push, to make a push on this defense. They have potential. Let's just see if they're ready for the challenge. We have Amari Burney, who will be playing in the linebacker slot. We'll see how much playing time he actually gets. I think that is going to come down to who they like more, Curtis Bolton or Burney. We got our starters, Diablo and Spillane, who will be getting a lot of the looks, and I think they are going to be some major keys to this game. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then we got in the safety position, you know, you got Chris Sims sitting back there that may have some opportunities to get into the game and make some plays depending on how everything works out. But we have Marcus Epps, and we also have Trevon Merrick, who's looking to make a new name for himself, his second year in this defense. He had a really decent rookie year. He kind of fell off the map. And I think that's the biggest thing I want to talk about first is Patrick Graham and his scheme. Last year, all the talk, all the hype was focused in on Patrick Graham and his ability to design defense and be versatile. He himself, pretty much not quoting him word per word, verbatim, I'm just paraphrasing what Patrick Graham was saying, was 4-3-3-4, dime, nickel, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Like, you know, you kind of have to be able to adjust day to day. I don't know how creative he was trying to be last year or how smart he was trying to be, But it looked like these guys were really confused running around there last year. And there has been reports that he simplified things. You kind of like strip it down. You take it back to basics. You put people in right positions. And then you go out and you don't just draft or go get free agents that are dogs. You go out and you get guys that I've been talking about a lot in the last month that can come in here and raise the level of play of the players around them. Not just come in and play great themselves, but have the ability to say, you know what? Let me lead. Real, true leaders. And all reports show that Spillane and Epps, who I've talked about endlessly, don't know much about them. I'm going to be honest. The parts that I've been talking about is about the reports that they're actually taking guys under their wings. They're lining people up in positions to make plays. They already have a quick understanding of what Patrick Graham is doing here, and it pays. And like the reports came true because their teammates voted these guys captains. That's huge. That means the reports that we were hearing are obviously true from a leader perspective. These guys are in there. They're leading by example. They're pushing players. They're trying to raise the level of play across the board. All right, Nick 209 says, I did want to see linebackers out of oh my goodness, man. I do apologize. Let me see if I can get my voiceover to work tonight. It wasn't working last night. That was the other issue I was having, but see, it's not working again. Hold on. Okay. I said I don't want to see linebackers out of position. There you go. Thank you, Nick. I agree. And dime must contain the edge. And I this is, you know what, Nick, that's a good point, and that's why I'm excited, because we got Nate Hobbs back in the slot. So when Nate's doing that, Nate will set the edge. Nate is a good tackler. I really like seeing him play. He's not afraid to go in there and lay wood. And then also when you're going back into your linebacker packages, we got guys like Amari Burner, who could fly around, is real speedy. Curtis Bolton seemed to step up his game. So as long as they're lining up in the right position and containing the edge, it should be good. So that, I'm going to tell you where this really comes down to for me in this particular game, because this whole offseason, we've all been talking about what are the Raiders going to do to fix the problems, primarily the defense. I don't think there was a soul out there that wasn't talking or mentioning the fact that the Raiders need to fix the whole defense, right? We needed help in the secondary. We needed help. We definitely needed linebackers, primarily a guy that can play the middle and protect and pass protection, which we're not sure that we got that guy, but we definitely got a guy who's raising the level of play across the board. And then we needed defensive tackles, guys that can get back, make pressure, and kind of help our ends get loose. I think a lot of us see that, and the secondary has definitely improved, and there's definitely new players and a new look on the other spots, but there's not enough evidence for us to get overly excited about the defensive tackle position, and there's a lot of people questioning the linebacker position. Now, I look at the linebacker position a little different. We're going into a new era of linebacker, so I'm going to be honest with you. It's hard for me to get a really good feel of exactly what they're looking for. I know that they're looking for guys that can cover, guys that can really run, guys that can, really get into the backfield and cause a lot more havoc. They're not looking, your typical linebacker would just play downhill the whole time. But with these tight ends coming out that are like hybrids, the guys that are almost like receivers, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm interested to see if the hype around Spillane, his toughness, his energy, his ability to go fly to the football, just makes everything better. Diablo looked really good last year before he got hurt. So there is promise there. At the defensive tackle position, these guys really need to open up the lanes for guys like Spillane to play his game at a high level. And Bilal Nichols and Jenkins are going to be guys that we lean on early on in games to kind of create that kind of mentality in the middle. And then I have a lot riding on the play of Max Crosby. I have Max Crosby getting 2 sacks Sunday. That's my big prediction for this defense. I predict Max Crosby to have 2 sacks. He averages about a sack and a half almost against the Broncos as it is. The Broncos offensive line is not elite. Max is on a whole nother level. I think having guys, And I haven't talked about this much because the focus has been in each category, right? Defensive line, linebacker, and then the back end, or even splitting the backup ends into two. And we talk a lot about Marcus Peters. We talk a lot about Epps and Spillane and what they've been able to do as individuals in each room. But Max Crosby, I think, benefits from them as well. I really think that these three guys are actually giving Crosby that extra push. There's those three guys have been told and been proven that they go out there with the same amount of energy and that drive, especially a guy like Robert Spillane. If there's anybody that has a chance to kind of match Crosby's energy, I hear it's Spillane. I mean, that's a tough task. I can't necessarily say he's going to be able to match Crosby's energy, but these things spread like wildfire. And I think a lot of our defenses in the past have kind of lacked energy. My only fear is being overly energized. Now, I want to see more Kuntz too. I'm excited to see Tyree Wilson. I want Tyree Wilson to go in there. I want him to make plays. I want him to quiet the critics. Only he can do that. There's nothing that we could say or speculate on or try to predict and pump up because we really don't know ourselves. So, I mean, even to quiet me up on my thoughts in my head about, is this guy ready? Just go out there and show it. All you got to do is go and perform, man. Make some plays. But I think Kuntz deserves some snaps. And I think with more snaps could come the real identity of who Kuntz really is. So there's a lot riding on our defense, not only just for the season, but in this week one. I was talking to Raider John a little bit last night before and after because we weren't going to go heavy on defense in last night's show. We were primarily going to focus in on the offense. But Russell Wilson, there's a lot of talk about him and Peyton. Now, Sean Payton's a great coach. He's very creative on offense. He inherited Russell Wilson, and he has to work with Russell Wilson. So they're trying to make it work. So there's a lot of things that are going to be said in the media. There's some things said about him kissing babies in this ESPN report, and I'm not going to buy into all that hype. What I'm technically looking at, and I'm paying attention to myself, is can Russell Wilson make enough plays? Can Russell Wilson get back to his old form and make enough plays to not only excite his offense, because as a leader last year, he lost the team. I know the coaching was questionable, and you could even say it was bad, but I think Russell Wilson's whole persona, walking around like a social media star and having his own office, yada, 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 I think all that hype really hurt him. But I also believe that if he doesn't come out and ball out, he could lose that team really quick. They're paying him a lot of money, and this is the domino that we need to make fall. This is, if we can go in and really shut that offense down and beat the Broncos, that's going to allow us to put the Denver Broncos in a spiral early on, especially with the Kansas City loss. Wasn't that great last night, Kansas City losing? I mean, it's only week one. Don't count Kansas City out. But to get them to start in the hole, like, this is a huge game for the Raiders. It was a huge game even before that. But now they have an opportunity to put two teams down under them to start off, start building that confidence, start believing in the hype themselves of everything that they've been producing in OTAs, training camp, these joint practices. They got a lot of controversy going on behind the scenes that could really mess with the player's head. There's so many more opportunities right now for them to come out here and really shock not only the AFC West, but the league. And this is what we need to do. We need to start changing the narrative. Big shout out to Ray Gonzalez. Welcome, my brother. Let's see. Knight, I heard Peyton requested the NFL to play the Raiders game one. Not Peyton. So he's talking about Sean Payton. That's the rumor that I heard too, Ray, that he wanted, because I think he's trying to make a statement in, you're not going to go out and call the dog in the house and call Kansas City out, right? And there's a lot of hype running around the Chargers. So I thought there's a lot of people saying that the Raiders are going to be below average this year. And I don't believe it. If I had the big pitcher of Kool-Aid right here, I'd be drinking it for you guys all right now. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid ever since the joint practices. I'll be honest with you. because I really felt like that. You started hearing the hype in the camp that the defense was dominating the offense, but then again, Jimmy G just got onto the field. He had some rust to work out. There was the joint practices. There's Aiden O'Connell lighting up the preseason, but that's Aiden O'Connell. That's not going to affect our season now. But there was a lot of hype. So, yeah, I poured me a couple of glasses of Kool-Aid, and I've been drinking it. And it's pretty dang good. And I think they have a lot to prove. And if Peyton wants to call us out week 1, well, that's even more of an opportunity for us to go in there and put them down. You know, Sean Payton is a guy that knows how to motivate his players too. And Sean Payton has shot his foot a few times in this department. If you remember, Sean Payton and Greg Williams were caught up in a controversy in New Orleans about headhunting, trying to hurt people. And a lot of that was put on Greg Williams, but it's Sean Payton's responsibility to manage his football team. So I don't necessarily rule Peyton out in that. But I'm just saying Peyton's a tough football dude. He is an old school football mind that's going to go out there and get the most out of his players. We cannot sit back. We could sit here and talk about all John Leon, what's up, brother? Salute. We could talk about the weaknesses that the Broncos are facing on offense. Their offensive line isn't that great. Their best running back is banged up. Jerry Jeudy may or may not play, and if he plays, he's probably not going to be 100%. He's going to have to work hard against our corners. He could injure that hammy or whatever he's dealing with very, very easily, right? You got rookie and memes. Our safeties are really going to have to cover the deep ball. We still have the advantage with a crazy Max Crosby who averages, like I said, over a sack a game against the Broncos. He could really go in there and cause some havoc. I think he has 11.5 sacks against the Broncos alone in his career. So there's opportunity here for us to take, you know, if Peyton's out there calling us out, then let's go and smack him in the mouth. Let's take the league by the throat. That's what we have. That's the mentality that we have to play with. And I think that's the vibe that this defense has been putting out all offseason. That's what I'm waiting to see. And I'm so amped for that, man. This, to me, the D is where we're going to win football games this season. And I say that because I'm very confident in this offense. It's not like this offense is going to come out and be flawless, right? Like this is going to be their first time playing 4 quarters together and trying to put something together that's long lasting. It's going to take some time in practice. It's going to take a few mistakes. I was listening to, I believe it was, Silver and Black Today with Mo Moton and Gully. And they had a gentleman on from the Niners that were talking about Jimmy G. I can't remember his name, but they were saying like they called it, instead of a gimme, they called it a Jimmy. Jimmy's known to throw picks here and there himself. If Jimmy can keep that stuff under control, especially in this Josh McDaniels offense, I think we have a shot. We have a shot, and our wide receivers are going to be key in that. This offensive line being together for a second year, building upon what they built last year together with the camaraderie they had. With a guy like Jimmy G, who's a system guy. Now, I'm not saying he's the Josh McDaniels system guy. He has to relearn it and improve himself in this offense, but he's a guy that's going to take what he's given, he's going to execute it. And Josh is really good with X's and O's. I know a lot of people give him crap, but this is what Josh does. So I'm looking, and this is all without even getting into Josh Jacobs yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to definitely be interesting. Sunday is going to be a tall tale to where we're at, where we need to go, and how close we are. And we have to figure out in what order that really is going to be at the end of the day. John Leon, what do you think about the Chandler Jones situation? Don't know if you spoke on it already. John, I did speak on it a couple days ago. I did a couple of live videos. I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday. There's not enough information for me to feel one way or another. I'm sorry, I got something in my throat. I do feel that we need to pray for the man, because all signs are pointing towards there's something going on there. We just need to pray for him. And I'm not going to get into it outside of that. I'm going to let it play out. The only thing that I will say, since you weren't here, John, and I do respect you and your question, I want to give you something. I will say I really believe that the Raiders have handled this very professionally. And you might not hear that everywhere you go. There's some people out there reporting the Raiders they think the Raiders have to tell all. I think the Raiders are doing the right thing. All right. Trey Badabity is back in the house. What's going on? What's up, man? Hey, glad you're back. Just talking a little bit of defense. This is my wheelhouse where I get pumped up, dude. And so if you missed the first part, I encourage you to go back later and kind of watch what I said. But I still have more to say. But I was just kind of talking about actually your quarterback and the relationship with Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a motivator. Russell Wilson, can he return? Can Sean Payton get the most out of him? He took him on, but he had no choice. The amount of money your guys are paying this man. I'm afraid that if we could get to Russell and we could shake him up and really kind of get him to make some mistakes, that this could be a domino effect for your football team. You don't need to see the Russell Wilson of last year or any signs of it whatsoever. Now, I know in the preseason and things like that, he looked like the old Russell, but this is going to be a whole different ballgame. This is for real. So I'm kind of interested to see, what Sean Payton can put together. He needs a coach like Sean Payton. No, I believe he does, and that's spoken like a true fan, man, because I felt that Derek Carr needed a real offensive coordinator, something fresh and new, and that didn't work out for him either. They didn't mesh, right? They didn't click. The hope was that they would, because the tools were there. The tools just didn't, work with what they were building. He didn't have the right tools for what they were building, so we had to move on. And I know that's probably going to fire up the chat if whoever's here bringing up that one, but so, there is good things there to look forward to, and Russell is a veteran, and I think Sean Payton will make sure the system fits him a lot better than last year, but Russell is still up there in age. They're still, this reminds me, what you guys are dealing with, it reminds me of what we got when we brought Matt Schaub over. All the signs were there that Matt Schaub was deteriorating. We took a chance because we were desperate for a quarterback. We just got Derek Carr in the draft, and Matt Schaub proved that his arm was dead. His arm was dead. Derek won the job, and it was probably the best thing that happened for us instead of us playing Matt Schaub. But Russell Wilson was showing those signs in Seattle. That's why they let him walk. And then he came and had a year like he did last year. He does look a lot more motivated. It looks like he's really working hard to correct and get back on track, and he is going to be one of the biggest keys. You guys, like I was talking last night, you guys are like in the same situation we are, but kind of complete opposites. You guys already have defense. You have proven defensive players. I know you have a new defensive coordinator, but he comes with the pedigree as well. Your offense needs to prove it. And we're vice versa. We're coming in, even though we struggled in the second half of games, our offense was scary last year. It could score. And I think our offense got better. So I'm not worried about our offense. I'm worried about this defense being able to put enough together to make a move in the AFC West. Especially with that loss last night. I mean, it's early on, but this is where you need to attack. You need to capitalize on the opportunities that are given to you. And it goes for me and it goes for your team too, bro, right? Like, this is an opportunity for you to get in and really make something happen. Let's see here. I think our interior O-line can stand their ground. But I don't like the corners. I'm assuming you said I don't like the Crosby and McGletchey on Crosby. You know what? You'll be surprised too. I mean, Bilal Nichols was able to really push your middle of your offensive line last year. If Bilal Nichols has a game like he did last year with Tillery, and we brought in Jenkins to help stop the run, then we got a couple of young talented defensive tackles that can come in late in the game and maybe cause a spark. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But our defensive line is much improved. And if anything, yes, Crosby's the one you have to worry about. He averages over a sack a game against you guys, and I think he's going to coming out with something to prove for himself as well. Let's see. PA and bootlegs. Play it. Okay, I get you. Play it and bootlegs are going to be used a lot more for us this year. I pass option. Yeah, I agree. And this is where setting the edge. We were talking about that. I think Nick 209 had brought that up about setting the edge. We're moving Nate Hobbs back into the slot. He's pretty good at setting the edge. You got guys like Spillane and Diablo who could really play deep and, really set the edge themselves. I think we're going to have a spy on him. I'm sure they're going to assign somebody. I'm sure Spillane's going to be watching Russell Wilson move. all around that backfield. They're going to be prepared for that pocket to be moving and him trying to take off. He's definitely going to try to use his legs to set the tone for the offense. Jason Rader, what's up, my brother? Welcome. What's good, Jason? Just hanging out, brother. Just talking some football, what I love to do. Gonna be tough to roll it off on Sunday. It's going to be tough, to pull it off on Sunday. We have to have a pass rush, 100%. It's all about that pass rush. I was talking about that at the beginning of the show. These defensive tackles is where it has to start, and we're going to, and I know a lot of people don't feel this way, but, because Chandler didn't get a lot of those pressures and sacks early on in the season last year. But what Chandler did is he was really good at setting that edge and recognizing those types of plays. We got a rookie that's coming in who's a power rusher. He's got to stay calm. He's got to make sure that he's watching that edge because we can get caught slipping there real quick. Robert Pena, what's up, my brother? Jason, salute to you, Robert. Welcome. Nick 209. Will Jacobs be okay? Will Jacobs be okay playing on the outside? Oh, like I said, Jacoby. Be okay playing on the outside in his primary slot receiver. Are you talking about Jacoby Myers for us? Is that what I'm reading? Will Jacoby be okay playing on the outside? He is primary a slot receiver. That's who you're talking about. Yeah. You know what, Nick? I do believe he's going to be fine. One of the things that they talked about Jacoby Myers is his ability to run the routes and find the spot on the field to get open. He understands the concepts that Josh puts together. He grew up in this system. He's going to know when the play's called, where he needs to go. And as long as Jimmy G can recognize that, I think you're going to see Jacoby Myers have some pretty big games simply because we have Devontae Adams. So he's not going to be the main target. He's going to have a lot of room to operate. He's a good route runner. He'll find those holes in the defense. And again, the offense is not designed to take it to the house every single play. They're just going to get him in chunks. They're going to move the ball in chunks. They're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to be feeding Jacobs a lot to open up the middle of the field, and they'll attack it across the seams. That's what Josh likes to do. I think the Broncos will come out up-tempo. I agree. By the way, what's up, Ray? They'll come up tempo and to negate the pass rush. Yeah, I think so too. I think they're going to keep it moving and get the defense on offense and gas the defense with their offense. I'm hoping. I'm sorry, man. When there's a lot, it's hard for me. You guys remember I'm legally blind. I'm hoping to meet and negate the pass rush and gas out with the offense. I am hoping the rookie can catch the ball. I don't know which rookie you're talking about. You're talking about Mike Mayers, or are you talking about Tucker? Tucker's the one I want to see. Did you guys see the interview that they caught up with? Okay, if Peyton, this is more. I think it's more Ray Gonzalez. Oh no, this is Shrey Adabity. Can the Raiders win still if Peyton outcoaches McDaniels? No. If he outcoaches McDaniels, I think they're pretty evenly matched. I know McDaniels has got a bad rap, but he's no dummy. This is going to be a good test for McDaniels as well. A lot of the times the best coaching is going to win. If whoever prepared the best, whoever figured it out and had the best game plan, but at the end of the day, it's still the players got to execute. I think we got more playmakers right now. I think that we have a bit more to prove as the underdogs. I know there's a lot to prove for the Broncos too, but I think the Broncos will come out up tempo. I think I missed that. I read that one over. Robert Pena, really need our linebackers to plug the holes and stop their tight end. I was talking about that a little bit earlier too, Robert. Spillane, and we're going to have Diablo and Spillane, I think are going to be a good tandem back there, especially against the run, where the question is coming in is, can they protect the middle of the field if the tight end slips out? So that's what we have to look for the most. So the linebackers are going to be huge. Huge. Let's see. Sean Payton has to keep the Raiders defense on their heels. I agree to that. So they can't make us one dimensional. I do agree, and so in vice versa, right? The Raiders got to make sure we put you guys in a situation to get our best and strongest part of our team on the field, which is our offense. And Jacobs has the ability to keep you guys off the field. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different storylines here. Barbara Pena, not too worried about the Donkeys' offense, but their defense is not bad. We need to make. But their defense is not bad. We need to make a statement against. How come I cut off? We need to make a statement against them. This is a statement game all the way around, 100%. You're doing an excellent job, brother. Jason, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to read these comments. Legally blind. Man, can I bring that up tonight? I was going to show you guys that the other night to show you guys how I'm reading this. No need to apologize. Let me see if it allows me to give me that option. The other night it didn't. Oh, look, it's letting me do it tonight. Let me show you what I'm doing here, guys. Hold on. Not that I need to prove anything, but I want to show you guys how I do this, because this is part of why I like doing what I do, because it's actually to show that people that are legally blind and have visual impairments can have the ability to do this. I think it didn't work. I hope I'm still live. I hope you guys are still there. Okay, there I am. My phone wouldn't connect again. You guys could probably see it in my glasses. If you guys pay close attention to my glasses, you guys will see how large I have to bring it up to read it. I don't know why my phone doesn't want to work. When I'm not live, it connects right away. It constantly bugs me. When I clicked on it right now, it took it away. So, all right, maybe next time. Anyway, moving on. Not going to spend much time on that. Nick209, I believe Nessa Jade, I'm looking forward to Nessa Jade gets a sack, and hopefully Wilson too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not willing to. I don't like to. I don't want to put too much on them in my mind. I do want them to make plays. I do believe they have the ability to make plays. I heard, the word is that Tyree Wilson's going to get the nod. He's a first-round pick. We're expecting a lot from him. We're going to put him out there. Honestly, if it was me, I would run heavy Kuntz at the beginning, let Kuntz kind of get the feel of the game, and then you bring a strong, powerful rookie in and kind of try to stick to your game plan as much as possible. Bring him on a little bit slower. There's no reason why we have to rush it just because Chandler's not there. Let Kuntz be Chandler. Kuntz has been around for a while. No matter how much we think that he struggles, he's still on this football team. John Leon, much respect. Thank you. John Leon, much respect. Take things for granted. Yeah, I think I know what you mean by there. Jason Rader, you're doing an excellent job. No need to apologize, so I didn't go down far enough. That's the Nessa J one. Robert Pena, Leon Salute, John Leon Salute Pena. So everybody's just saying what's up. So back to what we were kind of saying about Wilson, though, in this offense. This defense has a tall task. It's one of those things where I know Sean Payton's going to have this offense ready. They're going to come out swinging. They're going to try to get Russell going early, outside the pocket, moving around, making some runs. We got to smack him, and we got to smack him hard, right? Just like Al used to say, in the first few plays, you need to hit the quarterback. You need to hit him hard. You need to let him know you're here to play. Max Crosby needs to eat early. And if Max ain't eating, then yeah, we need the rookie to make a play. And I think if we can get Tyree Wilson out there early to make a play and hit Wilson, I think that could really set this defense into a whole nother dimension, right? I think they'll go into a whole nother level in their heads and just open up a can of whoop ass. So we just got to let it all play out. But we can't take Denver for granted. We got to come prepared. And I don't believe we are taking them for granted. I'm not saying that we are. I'm just saying that we have to play disciplined football and we have to score points. Our offense has to find it to get it together early. I think they might be a little rusty. They got a lot of playmakers, so they got to just take their time and get it right. Robert Pena, we all appreciate you. I appreciate that, Robert, brother. No doubt that you inspire all. Robert, I really appreciate that, dude. That's my focus. In fact, I don't know if I remember if I got to share with you guys, but this past Saturday, I was able to have my first independently blind support group where I had a bunch of teenagers over. Well, 4, not a bunch. But, it really went well. In fact, one of the students started a gaming channel. It's a blind gaming channel where he's using his phone to put up some blind games. So shout out to Lou Dog. I believe his YouTube channel is Blind Gamer. If you just want to kind of go out there and just show him some Raider love. He's a Raider fan too. I don't think he talks yet on the channel. He's kind of a quiet cat, but he'll get talking. Very proud of him and what he's done with his sight loss and how far he's come really fast. And then tomorrow, I get to go up. I work closely with the Central California Adaptive Sports Camp up at Shaver Lake, California. So I get to go up there and do some stuff up there with their organization. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be speaking tomorrow night. It's a fundraiser. I love going up there. It's so beautiful right off the lake. A lot of gorgeous stuff up there. So a lot of good stuff coming on. And then I get to come home, sleep it off, and then wake up for the Raiders. So I'm pretty stoked, man. Pretty stoked. So let me get into some predictions real quick. I want to start off by saying I do believe the Raiders obviously are going to win. I know Shreya Badapity that's here, who's a Bronco fan, called it last night, 24-20 Broncos. I want to raise that up on you a little bit, Badapity, and I'm going to say Raiders 31-17. I'm going big on this one. I do believe that the Raiders are underrated. I believe that they feel like Jimmy G is just going to get hurt, that Jimmy G depends on who you listen to and who you talk to. And I'm not even talking Raider Nation. I'm actually talking mainstream media, depending on who you listen to, on how they actually feel about Jimmy G. There's a lot of rumors and people saying stuff about the Shanahan family and their offensive design hurting quarterbacks. I don't have no facts to back that up. I know they've hurt some people. I know Shanahan is known to be inconsistent, especially later on in the seasons with his football teams. He's always been able to get his teams right to the cusp. He had a chance in Atlanta. They blew the Super Bowl there, and they blew a Super Bowl chance here. So I'm not sold myself fully on Shanahan. And so I think that Jimmy G has an opportunity in a more. This offense might suit Jimmy more, right? It's 1, 2, 3, ball out of your hand. 1, 2, 3, ball out of your hand. He's got. I don't want to say he's got better weapons because the Niners last year were pretty loaded, especially with Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, all those guys. But I really think that this is a good football team, and this is a pro-style football team, right? You're running fullback. You got Josh Jacobs back, an offensive line that's been playing together for 2 years, back into this system. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to surprise and score some points. If I have any high expectations for the Raiders, and if I'm over drinking the Kool-Aid and spilling it all over my shirt, it's going to be for the offense. I do have high expectations. I think there's an upgrade enough there. Okay, we got John Leon that says 28-14 Raiders. Okay, I like that. That's close to my numbers. You got Nick 209 says 24-21 Raiders. Yep, you know what, dude? I think that's probably going to be more realistic. 31-7. Robert Pena got it with me. 31-17 Raiders. Let's see. Let's see. Me and you are on the same page. Right on, brother. Yep, I'm with you. I got this being a little bit bigger game for us than a lot of people. Josh Jacobs gets rolling. I agree. They're not stopping us. No, yeah. Josh Jacobs is fresh, guys. Josh Jacobs has not had any reps in the preseason. A lot of people say that, be careful of that. And I get it. He hasn't been hit. He has to be careful with leg injuries and such. But after running the ball 293 times the year before, I am stoked to get this guy going again. I think if you saw those holes that we were seeing in the preseason, Josh is going to actually hit those holes. He's tough to tackle. We get that running game going, they're going to have to drop their safeties down, which means that's going to give Devontae a little bit easier time across the middle. And then you're looking at what I want to see, and that's where I stopped talking, and it just had to come back up. Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow was pressured by the media in the locker room, and he was being asked about basically playing nice with City Hall or working with City Hall instead of being against City Hall. Basically, are you working with the coaches? And it was, I noticed that Hunter wasn't comfortable answering that question. And that doesn't mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys that over speculate just because someone stutters or trips up on words. But it did sound like Hunter was admitting like he had a hard time with this offense. He had a hard time picking up the concepts and that he's ready. And I was talking with a buddy of mine, and all the reports, all the rumors about Hunter Renfrow being traded, I think were predetermined. I think maybe he was out there. I don't think what they were offering for Hunter after losing so much with Waller and Carr, I think they know Hunter is a valuable asset. They want to showcase Hunter. They're giving Hunter the opportunity to come out here, earn his money, earn his spot, go out there and make some plays. But trust me, all the talk I keep hearing about Tucker, and we have Carter, and we got Jacoby Meyer, and the way that Wilkerson played and made this football team as our sixth wide receiver, like I believe that Hunter is going to get a lot of look, a lot of play, because I think he'll be gone by trade deadline. I think that he is on the block, and I think they want to showcase him and get the most out of him. So if he can go out there and he could perform, I think they trade him to a needy team that's desperately looking for any type of receiver help or for any offensive weapon. I think that's what you're going to see. We're too stacked at receiver to pay him what we're paying him with all these young coming stars. They got to prove it too. But that's what I'm thinking. What's up, Knight from Miguel Navarro? What's up, brother? Good to see you. Always love your point of view. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that. Keep up the content. Brother, I am back. This is, I think, my third week. I'm going into my first month of doing this. I've gotten hooked back to doing the live shows at night. I've been usually going live every night, Monday through Friday, at around 8 or 8:30. Tonight was 9 o'clock because I did see a lot of other content creators on my feed, and I try to be as respectful as possible, so I kind of let that play out a little later. But I'm not going to lie, it's been a long week, and I got a big day tomorrow, so I'm hanging in there as much as I can. But yeah, I think that's what's going on with Hunter Renfrow, man. Because they didn't roll him out there a lot. They didn't give him a lot of opportunity to be hurt. I'm excited to see Hunter play tomorrow because I love third and Renfrow. Who doesn't love them some Hunter Renfrow, right? He is proven to be a talented player. He lacks that top end speed, but we've seen him take 65-yarders to the house. So we know he has elusiveness. He has good hands. He's a tough football player. You know, if he can make a mark on this football team, I'm happy with it. But we paid him a lot of money. He did have a hard time picking it up, and I think Tucker is the premier guy that they want to bring up and put in that slot. He is going to be Josh McDaniels, Danny Amendola, and Wes Welker type player in the slot, even more than Jacoby. They're happy putting Jacoby Meyer on the outside. He's a good route runner. He's a lot like Hunter, which kind of cracks me up, but I think he understands this offense to the point where they could put him on the outside, opposite of Devontae. He'll find the open spaces. He'll catch the football. He'll get those chunk yards that you're looking for. It's a well-balanced receiving core. I think, obviously, it all surrounds around Devontae and Josh Jacobs and Jimmy G's ability to make a read, make the right read, and deliver the football. And that's where I'm at offensively. I kind of got stuck on the offense a little bit. But going back to the defense real quick to kind of get closer to wrapping things up tonight, I appreciate everybody here. If you guys are here and you guys haven't hit that like button yet, go ahead and do me a favor and hit that like button. If by any chance you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button for me so we can continue to move up the algorithm. All right, so let's go one more call on this defense, one more run through on this defense. It all starts, just like we always hear, in the trenches. So I mean, it's become a constant cliche no matter who you listen to. But I'm looking at that defensive tackle position hard. They really have to make noise. I think this is losing Chandler is going to be one of those blessings in disguise. It really hurts. I don't want to see the guy struggle, so prayers out to Chandler Jones. But Kuntz and Wilson have a huge opportunity to be some anchors on that right side. I'm excited to see what they're able to do with that. And that is just going to let Max be Max. But it's really going to come down to the defensive tackles to set Max free. They need to draw that attention off Max. So I'm looking forward to that. In our corners, Marcus Peters. I need Marcus Peters to make an interception tomorrow. I think Marcus is looking to re-implement himself in the league and put his name out there. He had the knee injury. He wasn't himself last year. I think this is going to be the first opportunity he's going to have to come back and play strong. I'm excited to see him play. I love the work that he's done with Jacoby Burnett, if I'm saying his name right. All these names in my head lately. But I'm looking for the rookie to make a play too and to live up to the hype. But I'm looking for Nate Hobbs to cause a lot of havoc around the line of scrimmage. I'm looking for Spillane to show his toughness, to really get these players, to continue to raise the level of the game, the safeties. There's players. It's time to live the hype. And I don't expect them to come out in week 1 to become the defense I'm looking for, but I want to see the signs. I want them to make a statement tomorrow that they are for real. And I think all Patrick Graham needs to do is keep it simple. Robert Pena, defense wins championships, right? And quarterbacks build dynasties. I've always said that, right? Everyone's a game manager and a strong defense. Defense will win you championships, 100%. I've always believed in that, especially when you get into postseason football. It's a whole different type of ball game. And, I'm really, really interested to see what we do next year with our quarterback situation, because it definitely looks promising. So if we can get this defense up to par, we could go on a good run. Everybody thought that window was closing, right? And we're rebuilding. But right now, if everything keeps going the way that it's going, we have a lot of young talent. If this defense really comes to light, we have a lot of defensive talent. We have Young we're looking at. We have Nessa Silva that we got to take, Nessa Jade. We got to take a look at him. If those two guys can make a mark. You got Chris Sims. You got Amari Burney. You got Burnett on the outside. There's a lot of guys. Tyree Wilson. If these guys can show up, they don't need to be the main star. They don't need to be on the main stage. They don't need to have the spotlight on them. They just need to go out there and show that they're here for a reason, and they're going to be making some plays, and then we're going to be raising a lot of eyebrows, because that's a lot of young football defensive talent. If they nail this draft, that's going to propel us out of a rebuild mode and in win soon mode. So, and it looks like we may have our quarterback for the future if McDaniels proves himself and is still on this football team, because I think O'Connell's only the quarterback of the future if he's in the McDaniels system. So I think he's a specific type of quarterback. I think that's why he looks so good. He has the right mechanics, he has the right things upstairs, and then Josh McDaniels' system just really fits all that together for him. Smart dude, great mechanics, get the ball out of your hand quickly. It's a match made in heaven. We just got to let it play out. All right, I don't know who else is here, but if anybody has any questions, I know you guys have probably been just raided out lately with everybody talking about the team, the preview. I got the Raiders doing it, man. I really got the Raiders doing it. I think it's going to be a fun first half, but I think we really come alive in the second half. I think we make the proper adjustments. I think the defense gets some turnovers tomorrow. We get some sacks tomorrow. And as long as Jimmy G stays upright, I think it's going to be in a Davante Adams, Josh Jacobs show. I want to see that matchup. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick before I get out of here. Davante Adams versus Patrick Surtain. Last year was amazing, right? He ain't there yet. The kid's not there yet. He's just not there yet. Surtain's going to come to play. He's going to be on him hard. But this is a different offense, and this offense is better suited for Davante Adams with the right quarterback, because this quarterback's going to make the read early. The second year for Davante, he's going to be where he's supposed to be. You're gonna see. I think Jimmy G at least takes 3 shots deep. I don't know if they'll connect. I don't know if they're going to mean anything. Maybe they're picked off. I don't know. But I see them taking shots tomorrow to Davante. Not tomorrow. I wish it was tomorrow. Sunday. But that's all I got. I don't think there's much else I can say but repeat myself. 3 key players on defense. We already know what we got in Max. We may have some questions in the middle of that defense, but I do like Belon Nichols. I think one of the biggest things is Tyree Wilson. Can't stop DA. You can't stop him. Just can't stop him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are. He's going to make plays on you. But I got Tyree Wilson, Robert Spillane, and I want to go with Marcus Epps, but I think I'm gonna take it back. I want to see Trevon Merrick make his reemergence and hear, because that's the other hype that has to come true, right? That's the other Kool-Aid. A lot of people, I haven't drank the Kool-Aid on that one yet, but I want to see if Trayvon Merritt can come out and return to his rookie type season, playing back there with Marcus Epps, playing with more confidence, playing with more speed, taking better reads on the football, and breaking some more plays up. So I'm excited to see this defense. I'm not going to lie. It's all about the defense for me. It has been for years. Like I said, I'm not expecting this to be a reemergence of a Raiders defense that's going to be top 5 or anything like that, or even top 10. But I think they have an opportunity to make a statement and start building a defense for the future with a lot of young, talented football players that have an opportunity, even as early as Sunday, to come in and make some plays. So starting with Tyree Wilson, he has an opportunity right now to quiet all the haters about his foot, about where he was drafted, and he needs to at least get a sack. So I'm really rooting for the kid. Anyways, I appreciate y'all here. Please hit the like button on the way out, the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you know the next time I go live or drop another video. And until next time, you guys know what it is. Stay Raider strong. Victory Monday. See you then. I'm right with you, Robert. Let's go D. Shout out to Robert Pena. Shout out to Miguel. Shout out to Nick209, Jason Rader, Shrey Bodapity. Thanks for being here, brother. Please come back Monday, win, lose, or tie. We'll let you have the floor. You've been respectful. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll be seeing you.